You're standing in the middle of your favorite childhood playground. You see the swing that you used to fly high in the sky, the slide that was way too hot during summer days, the grass on which you used to play tag with your friends. But it's different. It used to be so colorful, so vibrant, didn't it? The air used to be so fresh, so light, and the birds would chirp from every tree around you. But it's quiet now, more gray, and the air seems thicker. We all come back to something that we used to like as kids, like a movie you used to watch over and over, or a game that you used to play for hours on end. And it's the exact same feeling when you download it again. You start it up, you hear the music, making you see all the good memories in your head. You see the title screen, and for a second you feel all your problems fade. But then you're sitting there thinking, it's not the same anymore. It used to be so much better. And it's not because we remember the thing being more beautiful. It's because sometimes we don't actually miss the thing. We miss how it felt to be the person we were while experiencing it for the first time. I think about these childhood gems sometimes, like old games, old movies, old friends, places you used to go, even music. You'll hear a song you haven't heard in 10 years and suddenly you're somewhere else, back in memory lane. Maybe you're sitting in the back of a car. Maybe you're at a friend's house. Maybe it's summer. You may not even remember what happened that day, but you remember the feeling. And that's why nostalgia is so powerful, because it gives you this tiny illusion that you can visit the past. But then the song ends, and you're back. And that's the part that sucks, because you never know that you're living through things for the last time. You didn't know that the random Tuesday afternoon, where you played Minecraft for 6 hours, might eventually become the something you desperately wish you could experience again. You didn't know that the summer where you saw your friends every single day would eventually become a thing of a past. You wouldn't know the last time you'd go to a certain place, the last time you see someone, not realizing it might be the last time. And I guess that's a good thing, because if we knew something was going to be it for the last time, we'd probably ruin it by thinking about it. Like, imagine knowing this is the last time where Christmas is going to feel like this cozy, this warm. Or like this is the last summer before everything changes, or this is the last time all of my friends are going to be together. You wouldn't actually enjoy it. You'd be sitting there thinking, I've got to make this meaningful. I've got to make this worth remembering. I've got to make this special. But you see, things only become special after they stop being normal, or if they weren't normal in the first place. I remember when I was younger, summer felt endless. You'd finish school and suddenly you had this giant block of time ahead of you. No responsibilities, only fun plans, simple freedom. And somehow those 2 or 3 months felt like an entire year. Now, a month disappears. You blink and it's gone. And I know there's a reason why time feels faster as you get older, but it doesn't matter. I think part of it is just that when you're young, everything is new. Your first vacation, your first favorite game, your first real friendship, your first relationship, your first time staying up ridiculously late, your first time discovering something that completely consumes your attention. Everything is happening for the first time. And when everything is new, everything feels bigger. Think about the first time you played a game that completely blew you away. Maybe it was Minecraft, or maybe it was that one indie game that never left your mind. You never cared about frame rates, or you weren't looking at reviews, you weren't wondering whether the graphics were impressive. You just played it, and because you had nothing to compare it to, it felt enormous. For me, it was Skylanders. That concept of collecting these cool figures and putting them on a portal and then magically appearing as playable characters completely blew me away. Now we have access to basically everything. Every game, every movie, every song, every piece of information humanity has decided to upload to the internet. And sometimes that makes everything feel less special, because we've seen it all before. We've heard something similar, we've played something similar, we've watched something similar. Hey, have you seen this, or have you heard that? Mostly yes, or more mostly something similar. And maybe that's why going back to old times can feel so disappointing, because we're not actually going back to the same experience. We're bringing everything we've learned since then with us. And I guess that's why I've started to question what I actually mean when I say, I miss being a kid. Do I actually want to be a kid again? And I guess that's a yes and no. I don't want to go back to school, but I want to see my friends every single day again. I don't want someone telling me what I have to do. but I want to feel like I don't have to think about everything for once. I don't want to have no control over where I go or what I do, but sometimes I just want to go. So, what am I actually missing? I think I'm missing the version of myself who didn't know any of this was temporary. The part of me that used to think that growing up is going to be so exciting because then I'll be truly free. I miss not knowing. I miss being able to enjoy things without any guilt. I miss how easily something could become my entire world. Not because childhood was objectively better, but because our view of the world was just different. And for some, it might be depressing, because you can't recreate the past, but you can do all the things you did in the past. But you're still bringing your current self with you. And you might even realize that the things themselves were never as magical. It was just your younger self that made the moment magical. And that's not a bad thing, because if you're able to go back, you'd either ruin it with your knowledge, or you'd miss the present. You'd either ruin it with your knowledge, or you'd miss the present. You see, we spend so much time romanticizing the past that we forget that the past was once our present. The things we complain about now will eventually become memories too. There are things happening in my life right now that I'll miss in 10 years, and it's not a bad thing, because the goal isn't to somehow recreate the past, it's to actually notice the present while we're in it. You might be watching this right now and have a friend that you haven't talked to in a while. Maybe there's a game you keep saying that you're going to play again. Maybe there's a place you haven't visited in years. Maybe there's someone you used to see every day. And maybe you're thinking, I should do that again sometime. And you probably should. But don't do it because you think it'll make you feel like you're 12 again. Because it won't. Experience it as who you are now. Because maybe the point isn't to recreate an old memory, but to make a new one.